let's go. Let's go to Unit. Hello, this is Audio Heads, Geeks Assembled, and we're discussing the Unit Shutdown. Oh my gosh. It's hard. Anyway, I really like this this dynamic duo of Osgood and Kate Stewart. They are quite a good team. Anyway, what do you think, Lee? Oh yeah, he's gone. But anyway, this is a 4-disc set. It starts off with this power cell, and then it goes to a death in Geneva. Then it goes to Battle of the Tower, and then it goes to Ice Station Alpha. And so it basically starts out in London and then ends up in Antarctica, a bit like Stargate SG-1 and the whole Stargate series, but with a slight detour in the middle to do some different kind of alien tech and deal with a different kind of alien threat. And these ones are called the Tengobushis, and I mean they were amazing. Yeah, it had a lot of action, a lot of intrigue, a lot of different smoke screens put up by different organizations, and it had a really, really amazing cast. Let me pull this true thing out here. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to get Lee's opening thoughts now that he's back with Patty. Hello, Patty.
Yes, as soon as we start recording, does she start?
Yes, she does.
Yeah. I really did enjoy this box set. This is the third box set we've done. We did, for some reason, box set 3 about 4 years ago. But now we've done box set 1 and this box set 2, Shutdown. Yeah, I didn't know how this story was going to, span out, because this is not an old Doctor Who creature or enemy. This is brand new for audio, and it's so well done. Is it I'm having problems pronouncing them as well. It's sort of like samurai assassins, aren't they?
Yeah, the Tengobushi.
The Tengobushi, yeah. They're very samurai-ish assassins, these
ninjas.
Sort of ninjas, alien ninjas. But you've got the regular cast. You've got Ingrid Oliver. You've got Gemma Redgrave. I think it's you've got a special guest star, Alex Krieg. If you're a Star Trek fan, you know as the Borg Queen. Yeah, there she is, playing sort of a villainess role. I'm trying to Felicity Lamb. That was it, Felicity Lamb. She's a head of a technological corporation who has got their hands on alien technology. And Kate Stewart wants to know why, and she wants that technology. She wants UNIT to have that technology, and yeah, it goes from there. So these sort of ninjas, assassins, mysterious ones just keep creeping up and foiling all their all their plans. It's an interesting thing, because the last box set was like a whole one long story split up into 4. This one, the characters are split.
Yeah.
the
4 separate
Kate.
stories tied together.
Yeah. I mean, with an outcome at the end, as I say. I mean, we don't get to see Sam Bishop until it was the last story, isn't it?
Right.
Is it the last story? Yeah, I think it's the last story. Because he's one of the main characters in the new unit family. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and the acting is tremendous. And some of the supporting cast in this playing. Let me think now. There's Sir Peter Latcham. He's a great character. He gets his comeuppance at the end. And General Grant Avery, I thought he was a brilliant character.
Yeah.
Yeah. In where they went to Geneva to get his help. Yeah, I enjoyed this. It was something fresh because I said there wasn't using old bad guys. This was totally new.
Yeah.
And it worked so well.
Yeah, and it was like we've got to prove ourselves to these aliens. It was another one of those stories where somebody some advanced alien species feels like they have permission to judge all of humanity.
Yeah.
And decide whether or not to, you know, destroy our Earth or let it live.
There was gonna destroy either way. If they didn't get the technology, they destroy, and if they got the technology, they'd still have destroyed us.
Right. Well, we had so Kate basically had to prove us to them, and that was incredibly intense. I'm gonna look right in the camera and try and draw you in. But yeah, that was like the really amazing thing was that these alien ninjas, had their plot had to be foiled on a very fundamental level. Otherwise, there would not be it would have been a very short story anyway. Yeah, but the ship coming took its time, so that gave it a long build up. Anyway, what were your thoughts about the way that the stories went? Which one was your favorite out of them?
For me personally, I mean, they were all good. Power Cell was brilliant. Death in Geneva. The last one, Ice Station Alpha. But for me, my favourite one was Battle of the Tower.
Yeah.
The third one.
Yeah.
That one stood out for me more because that was action packed.
So much action.
But it was just for me proving Kate Stewart is a right badass. She was running the game there with was it Felicity Lime and Sir Peter Latcham. You know, get her over here, get her over, tell her, get her over here, just kidnap her, get her over here.
Yep.
I'll let you know. Oh, you want to talk to each other? I'll leave the room. I'll just go in the next room. You talk to each other. But it was just like that. She was in charge. She'd had enough. She'd had enough of being messed about. She had enough. She was focused on the end game.
Yeah, and so you see how having this now adds so much more weight to what happened with Peter Capaldi.
Mm.
I mean, like all those things in the tower wouldn't have happened because it would have been, anyway. So she has the weight of all of this history. Now, it's Big Finish. God, it's so great. Anyway, so let me switch scenes again, and then let's go story by story. Here is the Battle of the Tower with the alien in it there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
written by Andrew Smith.
Yep.
He wrote two of the stories in this set, as did Matt Fitton.
Yep.
Yeah, Matt Fitton wrote the bookends, and he wrote the middle two. Did Andrew Smith? So, but
Great. What did you think of let's go story by story. What did you think of Power Cell? Any favorite moments or things you didn't like about it?
Well, there's nothing I didn't really like. What I really didn't like, I thought every story was brilliant. For me, it's for this one was the first one where Kate and Lime meet for the first time, and it's the confrontation between them. You can feel the frostiness. Lime seems to be such a powerful executive in the company, and she was nowhere was she going to give Kate that power cell, this technology, and it's the clash between those two characters what intrigued me more in this set. The aliens was so well done as well. And you see, you've got Osgood as well. What made me like, I don't know if it was that story or a following story or whatever, but Osgood's with her ringtones on her phones, or
the ringtones are the cloister bell and the TARDIS materializing or dematerializing.
Yeah. I mean that could. I think that was used in most of the stories, but
so good.
They're just taking the character from the TV show and giving it more life.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Osgood was only in how many? 3 stories on TV. Is it 3? Can't remember. It's 3. But the fleshing these characters out. I mean,
she was in 4 stories.
4. The fleshing these characters out more than they did on TV, which is a good thing. Because for me personally, the character of Kate Stewart didn't really come across really well on the TV for me.
Oh, okay.
Just a character, the daughter of the Brigadier. That's quite good. We're getting some history, connection from the show's history. But to me, the writers in this are fleshing the character out more, giving her a bit of oomph. You know what I mean? And that's what she needed. That's the Brigadier. That's the blood of the Brigadier running through her veins.
Yeah.
And it's coming out more in these audios.
Yeah.
And
the way that she had a hell of a lot of respect for the institution of UNIT, but she also was she was a hell of a lot craftier than anybody was led to believe in the telly. She really was sort of a manipulative, strong, powerful character. I just think that was amazing.
And whoever says, because I never believe this when people say this, whoever says TV or movies and audios don't have strong written female characters is talking rubbish.
Yeah.
I just don't know where they're coming from when they say that.
Yep.
The movies, TV, and these audio are just full of strong female characterizations.
Yeah. And Osgood in this one, she was partnered with Josh, and they, I mean, it was really okay. So let's go to the second part, Death in Geneva. What did you think of that?
Well, that's the one where her and Osgood, and was it Josh as well?
Yeah.
Went to Geneva for the help from General Avery.
Yeah.
And he was such a wonderful character.
Yeah.
Just a jolly, friendly, American general.
Yep.
And
American unit though, not
yeah.
U.S. Army, but
they went for help, but then said all the trouble sort of followed them across there. So he got involved with it, and as far as I could make out at the end of that, he suffered
yeah,
the hands of the aliens. But he was such a great character helping them out. But at the time, he wasn't, because he didn't know where he stood, because he got in touch with the UK government, and the Sir Peter came down, wanted to know what she was doing there,
yeah.
and you could feel straight away he's a corrupt guy.
He's got his grubby mitts in lime up to his elbows in lime.
As soon as Avery saw this, he knew which side to go with, and he went with Unit.
Yeah.
So he was a good character. I like that character.
Yeah, and Death in Geneva for me was like James Bond. It was all gondolas and heights and snow, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like it was really James Bond, Doctor Who James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And going back to Power Cell, I forgot to mention the unit nightclubs, and Jay was her friend from uni, and like got all caught up in this stuff too.
Yeah.
And so it started off with all of Osgood's friends getting caught up, and then it went it got bigger from there. Anyway, can't read my writing. Death in Geneva, the gondola rides was a lot like 007, and the spaceship was turned out to be Asian style.
Mm.
So that was really cool. Was all the sort of Asian influence on these from these aliens, or through that. That was really cool. And then the third part was the Battle of the Towers, and or the Tower. And what did you think of that?
So this was my favorite piece.
What were your favorite pieces of that favorite piece?
Well, because it brought the archive back into this. The Tower of London, as last seen in was it Day of the Doctor?
Yeah, Day of the Doctor.
Yeah.
50th anniversary.
8th year anniversary. I call that an 8th. It wasn't the 50th for me.
Okay, it was one of the 50th. There was a lot of 50th. There was that one. There was the Five-ish Doctors. There was a light at the end, and there's no Big Finish fan who disagree that the light at the end and that one house on that one lane will ever be forgotten. But neither will the archive, and so all part just squish it together, make a muddy snowball out of it. Come on.
For me, some of the little bits in the Battle of the Tower was it all broke. Hell broke loose in the grounds of the tower.
Yeah.
You had the crown jewels.
Definitely.
Just put it on your head.
Yeah, use that scepter to beat the shit out of that glass. Okay, there you go.
There was just little things. It was like little remarks like that because there was a bit of humour was in this, and there was. I think it was Kate. Kate mentioned about the ravens,
Yes.
but all they're all automated ravens. They're not real. I think, well, it's like a surveillance thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that was that was definitely a throw
Yeah.
forward. Actually, wasn't this released in 2012?
Oh,
I can't remember.
2016.
Oh, okay, never mind. So this is like a couple of years after. Anyway, so it was definitely a throwback to that. Then that Day of the Doctor thing, and the other thing that I liked is that every time, uh, like in this one, Osgood was like, "I'm running out of air." Because of the sealed in the shutdown the lockdown whatever. She's like, I'm running out of air, and she's like, could you hand me that little thing? And so he hands her inhaler.
They do come in handy.
They do come in handy. Anyway, yeah. So what did you think of what was the third one called?
Ice Station Alpha.
Ice Station Alpha.
To be honest, I like this. For the final part of this, it was good. I mean, you got about on this set. You say you was in London, UK. Then you went to Geneva, and then you went to was it Antarctica? Was it
Yeah,
Antarctica?
back to London and then to Antarctica.
I mean, Osgood and Josh head over there, and then we get Sam Bishop into the story.
Yeah, the lieutenant is back. You're right.
By Warren Brown, which it's always good. I like the character of Sam Bishop. He's not overused because he would get a bit boring if he was overused. So he's only in one part of this, which is good. And they say this was a good way of ending the story. To be honest, it was
Yeah.
That's all you could ask for.
It was like Encounter at Farpoint, where the trial of humanity.
Yeah.
For the Star Trek episode, it was like uh, it was like the scene in the tower with the two Osgoods and the two Kates and the two Claras, whatever, in with those two boxes.
Yeah.
Like it's another trial of humanity. Humanity gets tried a lot. We're in a heap of trouble all the time. You know, when we get out there and outer space comes here, it's like, Jesus, we have a long way to go.
I think for me as well. I mean, down to Kate again, but near the end of the fourth part. I think they're back in London, aren't they? Where she's having tea with Sir Peter.
Yes.
He's drinking away and all that because he's been so damn against everything they do, and he's going to report them this. He's going to, get them shut down and blah blah blah. How was your tea? It was sort of, was it something in the tea with memory loss?
Yeah. Oh, the whole retcon, retcon syrup, and the aliens were like, that will do, and then they were like, we can use this a little of our own. So they took some Earth tech with them when they left.
So also this guy who was gonna see him shut down and all like that. Don't even remember anything. Good old Kent.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I like how it started in London and ended in Antarctica,
Mm.
and I love the fact that Antarctica is usually a sort of a vergence point, a point of energy and sort of a culmination. Everything always ends up in Antarctica, and that's, I mean, yeah, it it's it's best to keep Antarctica as a scientific spot and not a spot of military intervention, and so um, it's a good place to sort of have a chill out, so to speak.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I think
She's here all week, folks.
here all week, and yeah, so I enjoyed it a lot also, and I like how I like how they didn't dishonor, they didn't try to make it too wacky and too. I mean, it wasn't like Talons of Wang Chiang with a lot of sort of cringy stuff. It was a little more subtle, but it was
Mm.
subtly Asian, and so it was and then the cast was let me see, let me go to that part. Let me check this out. The cast was played by some Akira Koyama, and Dan Lee played the Chiso and the Tengobushi assassins, and Dan Lee played Dokkan, who was the alien leader. And so, I mean, it was played by Asians, so like that was really fun too.
Well, Big Finish do seem to cast the right, if it's a race character,
Yeah,
they do seem to cast the proper race. Not often, but sometimes they do cast English actors to play other races. Maybe that's because they can't get the actors at the time. I don't know, but they don't seem to do bad interpretations of Asians or whatever if when they do go down that route.
right,
But I think that's just because they can't get the actors what they want at the time.
right.
But most of the time, they do cast the proper races.
And speaking of cast, they cast Beth Chalmers.
Oh yes,
We last saw in Callan, or heard in Callan. Remember that?
yeah.
And then now she was in this, and the last thing I heard her in, which was freaking amazing to me, was Susan's War, of course. So yeah,
Quick,
so Caroline Ford is my muse, and amazing. So yeah, I was like stoked that Beth was in this as well. Oh, she may have been in, was she was in one of the Paternoster Gang ones as well, but yeah, really like her. And so we've talked about the cast. Oh, Commander Burgum was Stephen Billington, and Jot Davies played Sebastian Major DeSanto, and Henry Ditson played General Avery, who Lee really liked, and James Joyce, of course, played Josh Carter, and then Osgood's friend from Uni, Jay, was played by Hasif Khan. So that was great. Anyway, that's the rest of the cast, and the other voices were played by all the cast members. And so that's all the stories we've gone through one by one. Um, anything else you would like to mention or drop into the combo?
I just the way. I mean, we've said the writing's so good. I mean, say Matt Fitton and Andrew Smith. They know what they're doing. The sound. The sound editing, the soundscapes for this are so well done. We've never complained about the soundscapes in any of these audios we talk about. but I just like the way they can and do attract some good actors, big names sometimes. As I say with this one, Alice Creek,
Yeah,
um, brilliant actress,
yeah,
and to get her to do this, I know she appeared in a Fourth Doctor adventure at one point, but this was to get her into this as playing Felicity Lime,
yeah.
the, the Ice Queen. That's which.
So that was my ringtone. I have the Doctor Who theme as my ringtone. I don't have the TARDIS or the cloister bell, but I want to be Osgood. It's true.
Don't we all?
Oh my
Well, not
god.
really. No. So yeah, that's all I can say. Is I've got no complaints about this set at all.
Yeah. Good. Me neither. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and you know, it's 4 hour long stories, and it just goes by just like that.
Yeah, I mean, we did go through a phase where we was only doing like one story out of a box set.
Yeah, and it was, and usually it was like an hour.
Yeah.
We sort of hold our thing, but this one was great, and it flew by. I haven't had a chance to listen to the behind the scenes, but doesn't sound like this podcast needs it. So that'll be in a while when I get around to it. One of those things. Anyway, with all that said, what would you rate it, and what's your final say about Unit Shutdown?
Well, seeing as this was the only second box set, they could have played safe, couldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And gone with a familiar foe.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they went original, and I'm glad they did, because if you just keep churning out a box set every so often, just with an old enemy, an old character return, it does get a bit tedious. But no, originality on this box set wins for me. So yeah, I'm going to give it 10 power cells out of 10.
Careful with those things.
Oh yes.
They'll absorb all the ambient energy and multiply it, and then give it back to you in droves.
Yes. Why not?
That would be big time explosion. And he's got 10 of them. Jesus. Okay, and I will give this. I'll give this 10 gondola rides, 10 ringtones out of 10. Like this was so freaking amazing. You know, there was plenty of Jeopardy. Like many people died in the making of this box set. I mean, there was a ton. There was a big high body count in this, and you know, you felt like it was gonna, like you knew that because they made another box set that these guys would survive, but what they put them through to get them there was, you know, hair raising, and so I really enjoyed it, and I think that Gemma and Ingrid were freaking amazing, and I'm, you know, I loved the downtime when Kate Stewart was introduced as the brigadier's daughter, and then how they brought that character, put a new face on her, but brought her into this and gave her a Redgrave face, a sort of a queen of British theater and television and movies, the daughter of that, put, and then brought that forward, and then paired twinned her with Ingrid Oliver, and and the continuity of Osgood's, and the continuity of Lethbridge Stewart's, and the continuity of Unit, and you know, the fact that unit dating used to mean, you know, whether or not something was here or there in the 70s, 80s, 60s, 90s, 80s, wherever it was. Who knew?
Mm.
Because of the dating controversy in this box set. The unit dating controversy was whether or not to go to a nightclub. I mean, like that's fun too. Okay. I think I've I don't know. There will be I think there really was a unit box set recently that was called Unit Dating, and we'll just have to see that. Anyway, we will we will enjoy that when we get to it.
Yes.
In 2 weeks time, we'll come back and we'll probably be doing would you like to do another Jago and Lightfoot? Speaking of talents of Wang Chang.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm easily. I'll go with whatever.
All right, we'll do another Jago and Lightfoot, the next one down the series, and we encourage you to like and subscribe to our channel. And when you subscribe, hit the bell and enjoy that part of notifications of everything that we post, because we post 2 or sometimes 3 things a week.
Yeah.
Last week we reviewed Tommy and what was the other one?
WandaVision.
WandaVision, that's right. And this week we are reviewing the not the Mouse That Roared, where the Sporting Life. And
yeah.
And I'm excited about that because of William Hartnell. And then we're also doing I can't remember what.
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Okay, so a Star Wars and a William Hartnell.
Folks, Susan was the one who picked these 2 movies out of the list,
and I'm really glad I did, because I really don't have a very long-term memory. I just filled it all with unit stuff in my head. It's all in there, all the little connections. Another connection with unit was The Power of Three, where Kate Stewart broke into Amy and Rory's apartment, and Rory's in his pants. Ooh.
Well, that image never even entered my head when I was listening to that audio.
All right, well, I know, because you and our Alad don't really have a lot of affection for Matt Smith or his episodes, but anyway, I kind of liked it when Rory was in his pants, and how unit just doesn't have any filter. They're a bunch of pushy people, and that's what that was a fun thing. Anyway, I just
she's going off on one.
I just drove this podcast off a cliff. I know I did. I can't remember what cliff I drove it off of, but it's all that retcon fluid. It's all the retcon fluid in the air. I just can't remember anything.
He goes on about Rory in his pants. A few weeks ago, he was on about purple knickers. Phil, mind in the gutter. That's what it is.
That was because it was Michael Caine and Get Carter. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know, but it was fun. It was. Anyway, let's see. Join us on social media and give Lee a message if you want to join us. If you're brave enough to join us.
That's true. Yeah.
Good gravy. And thanks for watching, and thanks, Lee.